Today, we're looking at another mini PC, but unlike the last one, this one can actually game. Well, kind of. Stay tuned. A while back, we did a review on the Geekom mini PC, and one of the disappointing aspects of this thing was that it just couldn't play games. I mean, I'm talking 15 FPS in some games. I actually did do another video showing how to add a GPU to this mini PC, and even though it was completely impractical, it was a fun video to make. However, today we're looking at another mini PC called the Magician AM06 Pro. This one's based on the AMD Ryzen APU, and it can play games. And it's priced really well. In fact, astonishingly well, in fact. But before that, we gotta pay some bills, so check out today's sponsor. Today's video is brought to you by Brilliant.org. If you're watching my channel, then chances are you like learning. What better way to learn than for free? If you go to brilliant.org/cybercpu, you'll get 30 days free, and the first 200 people will get 20% off their annual subscription. Brilliant is an excellent platform for learning a variety of subjects in an interactive way. All their courses are extremely visual and interactive. I don't know about you, but I'm a visual learner, and the way Brilliant's courses are laid out make it really easy for visual learners to be able to follow along. In fact, this last week, I've been going through their logic courses. You know, a lot of people out there really should be studying logic. I'm sometimes amazed at how lacking some people are with basic logic. So, what are you waiting for? Check out Brilliant.org today and start learning for free for 30 days. Just go to Brilliant.org/cybercpu or click on the link in the description below to start your 30-day trial. And like I said before, the first 200 people get 20% off their premium subscription. Now, on with the video. Now, before we get too much into this video, what do you say we get this thing set up? Now, the Magician AM06 Pro isn't marketed as a gaming PC, but if it's a PC, we're gonna see if it can play games. We'll get into that a little bit later in the video when we go through some of the benchmarks. With that said though, this is a powerful little PC, and it's selling for an astonishingly good price. You can pick this thing up right now at the time of filming this video for $328. This system comes with an AMD Ryzen 5 5600U APU and 16 gigs of PC3200, and it's running Windows 11 Pro. This mini PC also comes with Wi-Fi and Bluetooth capabilities. Unfortunately, it only comes with a 512 gig M2 SSD, so if you want to play games on this thing, then you're gonna have to probably upgrade the hard drive. The good news though is that this mini PC comes with an adapter that will allow you to install a 2.5-inch SSD. The installation process is pretty easy. All you have to do is flip the mini PC over and remove the 4 screws on the bottom holding the rubber feet on. After that, you lift the bottom of the case, revealing the motherboard. If you look right by the M2 slot, you'll see a little connector where your SSD adapter will attach. Just install that adapter into the connector and then plug it into an SSD. The SSD will clip into the bottom of the case with no screws required, and then replace the bottom of the case into the system by reattaching the 4 rubber feet. And that's all it takes to install an extra hard drive into this mini PC. Considering the M2 drive that it comes with is only 512 gigabytes, I highly recommend performing this upgrade. Now, the back of this mini PC comes with 2 USB 3 ports and HDMI and DisplayPort. 2 Ethernet jacks, one of which is 2.5 gigabit, and then of course the USB-C port for the power supply. I really wish this thing would have came with more USB ports, but I guess if you run out of space in the back, you've always got the 2 in the front. And speaking of the front, this mini PC comes with an additional 2 USB 3 ports, as well as a USB Type-C. This one also has the audio jack in the front, which was one of the same complaints that I had with the last mini PC we looked at. It's kind of annoying that this is becoming a trend with mini PCs to not have an audio port in the rear. So if you want to run external speakers, you have to plug it into the front of the case. Not exactly the best for aesthetics, but I guess it works. However, if you're running audio over HDMI, then it shouldn't be a problem for you. Speaking of aesthetics, the case on this mini PC looks pretty good, and my favorite feature of this case is the power button, which is a triangle-shaped button on the top left corner of the case that has a red backlight when the system's running. As a side note, something that I thought was kind of funny is there's a warning sticker on the top of the case helping you to bypass the Microsoft account requirement for Windows 11. Unfortunately, the sticker's a little outdated and that method doesn't work anymore. But I do have methods that do work, and I'll go ahead and tag that video here if you want to check them out. In the box, this mini PC comes with the PC itself, as well as a USB-C power supply, the adapter for running a 2.5-inch hard drive, as well as a VESA adapter so you can mount this mini PC out of the way in the back of your monitor. It also comes with an HDMI cable that's short enough not to leave a lot of excessive cable behind your monitor if you decide to hook it up with the VESA mount. Now, one of the benefits to going with an AMD Ryzen APU is that you get a real GPU instead of the typical lackluster integrated graphics. Well, at least it's kind of a real GPU. It's definitely a lot more capable than integrated GPUs have been known to be in the past. But can this thing game? For that, we're gonna have to look at the benchmarks. I benchmarked as many games as I could fit on the 512 gig M2 SSD, ranging from some pretty old games to some fairly modern ones. So let's see how it did. The first game we're looking at today is Black Mesa. Black Mesa is a fan-made remake of the original Half-Life built on the Half-Life 2 engine. It's a really fun game, and one of my favorite things about it is that Valve loved it so much they allowed the developers to sell it on Steam. It's one of the many reasons I love Valve so much. This game was benchmarked at 1080p with all the graphics set to high. This game played pretty well, getting an average frame rate of 53.3 with a 1% low of 38.8. This game was definitely playable, and it would take nothing to adjust the settings to get it over 60 FPS. The next game we're looking at today is GTA 5. We can't benchmark a mini PC without looking at one of the best-selling games of all time, and a game that, according to Steam, I have logged 222 hours in. I have to admit, that doesn't count the time I've spent playing this game on my Xbox. But maybe one of these days GTA 6 will come out and I'll be able to benchmark it. But I wouldn't hold your breath on that one. I benchmarked this game at 1080p with all the settings on high. GTA 5 ran pretty well, getting an average frame rate of 47.3 and a 1% low of 37.7. And again, I have no doubt that I could tweak the settings and get this game over 60 FPS without much problem. The next game we're looking at is Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I can't properly be considered a reviewer without using Shadow of the Tomb Raider as a gaming benchmark. However, as overused as this game is as a benchmark, there's a reason for that. The graphics in this game still hold up even to today's standards. I benchmarked this game at 720p with the graphic settings on low. And even giving this game all the benefit I could, I still only got an average of 31.7 and a 1% low of 26.9. While this game was playable, this probably isn't the best platform for taking advantage of the incredible graphics that this game offers. Unfortunately, with the graphics on low, there's just no headroom to improve the frame rate like there was with the previous games we've benchmarked. The next game we're looking at is Red Dead Redemption 2. Like GTA 5, Steam tells me that I've spent 189 hours in this game. I guess I'm an Old West outlaw at heart and can't get enough of Arthur Morgan. Seriously though, the attention to detail that has gone into this game is phenomenal. If you haven't played it yet, you don't know what you're missing. I tested this game at 720p with the graphic settings on low. With those settings, we were able to get an average frame rate of 36.3 and a 1% low of 29.8. Unfortunately, we didn't leave ourselves any headroom at all to increase that frame rate, but it's over 30 FPS and definitely playable. That's about the average frame rate that I got when I first played through this game. The next game we're looking at is Cyberpunk 2077. I had to include this game in the benchmarks because I felt this game had the best chance of failing to hit over 30 FPS. So I gave the system the best chance that it could at playing this game by setting it to 720p with the graphics settings on low. To my surprise, I was still able to get an average FPS of 31.8 and a 1% low of 21 FPS. Unfortunately, there's absolutely no headroom to improve that frame rate, but over 30 FPS is playable. I was sure this game wasn't going to be playable, but I was pleasantly surprised that it was. Now, is this a gaming PC? No, it's not. This system is not marketed as a gaming PC, or, as you can see by the benchmarks, does it perform like a gaming PC. However, with a Ryzen 5 5600U, this is a powerful little mini desktop PC that you absolutely can play games on. In fact, surprisingly enough, you can play a lot of games on this thing. And with a price of $328, this is a powerful little space-saving system that should work great for many different purposes. In fact, I know exactly where this computer is going after this review. The only thing I recommend is adding a secondary hard drive. Now, you can pick up a 1TB SSD for really cheap nowadays, and I feel like this is a necessary upgrade for this system. Honestly, it should have came with a 1TB M2 drive to begin with, but at a price of $328, it's kind of hard to complain about that. But if you'd like to pick up this PC, then I'll go ahead and leave a link down in the description below. Now, just like the other mini PC that I reviewed a while back, you could potentially add a GPU to this one as well. But if you'd like to check out how to do that, I'll go ahead and tag the video right here. It's still completely impractical. But if you like messing with stuff like that, it was a lot of fun to do. As always, you guys have a great day.